This is Nicole, and in the Research Like a Pro office hours, recently we had a question about how to choose a locality to focus on. And as part of the Research Like a Pro steps, you make a locality guide. And often the choice of which locality to focus on in the locality guide step is difficult. And so we talk about how to choose a locality in this step, and often the answer is to choose more than one locality and just focus on a particular time and to narrow the focus of that locality guide step. So enjoy this excerpt from the Research Like a Pro office hours session that we had recently, and hopefully you can get some ideas for how to choose which locality to focus on in your locality guide step. Go on to the next question, which is choosing a locality. If my ancestor moved all over a state plus into a few neighboring states, where should my locality guide be focused? He was predominantly in Arkansas, so I've been looking at several of the counties there. The state seems like a large locality to do a research guide for. I'm trying to find out where and when he died. So, yeah, you could do a state guide. So, that was your idea to do a state guide for all of Arkansas. And with looking for the death of somebody, you're right, it probably would be more helpful to have a more specific county level location. But if you don't have that information yet, then you could do a state level guide. However, I might wait to see if you can find a clue from your known information that will lead you to a specific place. So he lived predominantly in Arkansas, and you want to find out when and where he died. Maybe what you need to do next is start with the last known county he lived in Arkansas, and do a guide on that to try to find any clues that will show you where he went. And if you have no hypothesis for where he went, where he died, then you might need to go back in time in his life and try to figure out where maybe his children migrated to, or his associates migrated to, or you could just do searches in all of Arkansas for people living there with that name and just try to find some candidates that you can then eliminate and find the one that's yours. So, yeah, I would suggest either the state guide or the last county where he lived that you have him pinned down to. Sometimes, like a probate or a tax record or a land record will have some kind of hint about where a person lives if they don't live in that county anymore. Like if they still own land in their previous county, but they moved away, it might say a list of absentee taxpayers, and maybe it would say where they moved to. Not very likely that it would say that. More likely that there would be a probate record where he was an heir that lists his location in some kind of a state file or something like that. But then again, that's not guaranteed either. So, probably like the idea of getting candidates through searching broader um, collections like census records to see where he might have gone. Of course, he probably wasn't living at the next census, so that could be another challenge. So consider if the state guide would be helpful. And sometimes we always just do a state guide along with a county guide, and that could be helpful. Another thing you could do to try to guess where he went is just look at migration routes. And the Family Search Wiki has some maps. So imagine this map has like different roads on it. That's what I like to look at is what are the different roads that people followed to get to further points west? And that could help you. Um, so in general, for choosing a locality, when you're trying to decide on which place to do your research locality guide, I like to look at the research question and the hypothesis, and then choose the locality that's most likely to have the answer to your research question. So, for example, in this question, who were the parents of Lucinda, born 1804 in South Carolina? I had the clue that Lucinda's daughter was married in Pendleton District, South Carolina in 1844. She lived in Pickens County, Alabama, and then Milam County, Texas. So you can kind of see her migration west. And for this project, since I was focusing on her early life, I went to the earliest known location that I had for her, which was Pendleton District, South Carolina. And that is where I was able to find the answer. So just use the different clues that you have, maybe the last specific location in your timeline, to use as the jumping off point for finding out where that person went next, even if you're just looking at migration roads and seeing where they lead to.